You smell that? Can you smell that? That's the smell of victory. Maroon victory.
Crazy. Referee Newcastle says that's it. That's the ball game. Queensland have defeated New South Wales by 10 points to 8.
Came here as a kid. My grandfather, my uncle, used to live just over the road here. Saturday mornings we used to come here. I used to run away from having a haircut. We'd kick the football around Lang Park. There was a cemetery before that. Very soon the lights will go down here for the last time. Then the dozers will come in and do their work. Just like I used to do.
O'Connor has got it all the way to Eric Gross. Eric Gross caught beautifully by the hero of Lang Park, Wally Lewis. Lewis.
And just like it was done to me.
Now Lewis receiving attention, and he's having a shoulder problem, as you can obviously see.
Which one's more natural? Don't answer that. It's going to be sad to see the old girl go. After what happened last year.
We are underway. Oh, that's over. Good luck. Just done. It's David Peachy. Peachy scores. Kamali to the 20-metre line. Vettel will score. He's almost. This is rapid fire. They'll do it again. Darren Smith is over. There's an avalanche starting here. Here's a try. It's a try. Here's a try. It's a try. It's a try. It's a try.
I just hope she gets the send-off she deserves.
The 2001 Harvey Norman State of Origin Series. Game 1, live and exclusive on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Hello and welcome to Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane on an historic night for State of Origin Rugby League. This year the Origin Series is switched from a midweek time slot to Sunday night. And judging by the build-up to this game, the move certainly hasn't diminished the public's appetite for Rugby League's greatest rivalry. And joining me is Peter Sterling. And Peter, this game has got everything. We've got 14 debutants, most of them are with Queensland.
That's right, Ken, a lot of new faces, 10 for Queensland, 4 for New South Wales. Many asking, can the Maroons bounce back from last year's whitewash, especially from that 56-16 hiding in Game 3? Wayne Bennett is back at the helm. It is a wonderful night, beautiful conditions, and as you say, a lot of new faces.
Wayne Bennett, observation this week, said it's just great to see these young fellows coming into the side for the first time. The enthusiasm, he said, they couldn't wait to get on the phone to tell their mums and dads, their cousins and whatever.
Just the way it should be, Ken. There's a real freshness in their side. You talk to the young members, they say they grew up watching the likes of Wally Lewis, Mal Meninga and those Origin greats playing when they were youngsters, and now they have the opportunity to carry on that tradition.
Okay, this series marks the last time we'll be a Sun Cup for a while. The wrecking teams are standing by to start work next month on a major refurbishment of this famous old ground. The Call of Stan on the eastern side will be knocked down and replaced as a part of a huge redevelopment designed to upgrade the Suncorp to a 52,500 seated stadium costing around $280 million. And Peter, this ground has had a lot of history. It was a goat paddock once, it was a rubbish tip, and it was a cemetery.
Well, Ken, as a losing player, I left here thinking it was all three at once. Look, a fantastic ground, and I think State of Origin owes a great debt of gratitude to this ground. Despite what we might think south of the border, this is the spiritual home of Origin. The development will be finished in 2003. It will continue to be that, and will also continue to be the cauldron.
The configuration of the ground, though, that famous playing surface will remain the same. That's the most important thing.
And an all-seater stadium as well, so we'll have an increased capacity here. Not just rugby league benefiting, but other sports. It'll be a fantastic thing.
The demolition crews might be standing by to start work on the ground, but down the road at the Caxton Hotel, the fans have been fueling up to welcome the teams, particularly the Blues, but disappointment. The Blues have decided not to go past the Caxton this year.
Well, actually, Ken, I'm not sure whether it was actually their idea. I think the police have stepped in and rerouted both the Queensland and the New South Wales buses a different way to the ground tonight. An enormous crowd at the Caxton tonight, and I think they were just looking to keep the lid on it. There was quite a raucous element there, so that's a first for Origin.
Okay, on the back of a rapturous reception from the Maroon fans, the Queensland team bus has rolled into Suncorp.
And it is a daunting trip whether you're coming to play in front of a home crowd or you are the enemy. As we say, there are 10 players making this trip for the first time to put on a Maroon jersey. But Wayne Bennett will have taken them aside and said, look, this is what you expect. Keep a lid on your emotions and just keep your preparation as you normally do. I think one of the pluses for them this year, Ken, is that they've surrounded the team by a lot of well-known faces. Here's Chris Close as manager, Steve Walters has been there, Gary Belcher and Wayne Bennett. Well, look, he knows what it takes to win Origin matches, and I'm sure he will have appreciated everybody's input.
Peter, you have huge respect for Wayne Bennett. Do coaches win State of Origin matches? We've got the Blues, of course.
They have an enormous input, Ken, no doubt about that. Wayne Pearce in charge of the Blues. 6 times he's coached the team for 4 wins, 1 draw, so that's a fantastic record. There he is getting off the bus with his players now. And Mark Hughes coming out playing his first game. Wayne Bennett, of course, has been in charge on 4 occasions for 3 wins. Was at the helm last in 1998. So that's another intriguing battle, the one that takes place off the field as well.
Well, Peter, it is something to really look forward to. We've got a lot of history here tonight. This is game 1. There's so much on the line. And they were very unlucky, as you pointed out last year in game 1. Might have made all the difference for the Maroons.
Well, you know, we point out every year how important this first game is. We've had 19 best-of-3 series. On 15 occasions, a team that has won the first game has gone on to win the series. This is a big 80 minutes for both sides.
Okay, Peter, right after the break, we'll be back with our panel here in State of Origin, Game 1 for 2001. Origin 2001. And 5 characters every bit as excited as those fans are our members of the 9 Rugby League panel. And Peter Sterling, that's a fair swag of Origin experience alongside you in the commentary bench.
Thank you very much, Ken. Yes, time now to introduce 4 men who know State of Origin intimately, whether it's through playing or at the coaching level. Joined tonight by Paul Harrigan, Phil Gould, Paul Borden and Mark Coyne. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Wonderful night here. Paul, before we go through this Queensland team card, no more passionate supporter of the Maroons cause than yourself. After last year, what do you think a victory for Queensland would mean tonight?
Well, it means everything tonight, Peter, because at the end of last year, not only was Queensland Rugby League suffering, but the whole of Queensland took what happened personally with some massive supporters up here of the code. And the Queensland Rugby League, they asked the questions and came up with the answers. And the answers were, let's get Wayne Bennett back. They've done that, and Wayne Bennett then asked them questions, and his answers are to get a young, enthusiastic side. He's done that, and I'm telling you, we really need to win this series just for the whole of Queensland and for rugby league in general.
Let's have a look at this new look side that you're talking about. As we've pointed out, 10 new faces for the Maroons tonight, 9 of them Broncos. At fullback, the brilliant Darren Lockyer, who'll play more like a second 5'8" tonight. The more he's got the ball in his hands, the better chance of success for the home side. On one wing, Lottie Takiri plays his first game, Fijian born, quite experienced. In fact, he captained his country at last year's World Cup and did a great job. In the centre, Darren Smith, at 32 years of age, the oldest player on the field tonight, also plays his 17th State of Origin. The other centre is Paul Bowman, captain of the North Queensland side, was blooded last year, did a good job, very solid in the centres. They'll be looking for the same tonight. On the other wing, Wendell Saylor, one of the real trump cards for Queensland, outstanding runner of the football, I think the best runner in broken play in the game. At 5'8", Daniel Wagon, the utility player from Parramatta, he'll be looked upon as a link man tonight to get his forwards going. When the backs want it, he'll call. The halfback is Paul Green, steps into the number 7 shirt. Under a fair bit of pressure is Paul Green, but he's been there and done that before, and a fine young player. Now the change, a late change, sees Brad Myers come off the bench. He will lock the scrum. It is his first game tonight. That pushes John Doyle onto the interchange. Second row, Petro Sivanasina makes the transition back from the front row. I don't think he'll play too much differently to what he does up front. Gordon Tallis captains the side for the first time tonight, taking over from Adrian Lamb, a firebrand, I think, the best forward in the world. Up front, John Buttigieg at 24 makes his debut in the front row. Robust player, his mobility might be in question tonight, but a big workload expected from him. Kevin Campion at 29 comes into the side, in at hooker. A fantastic effort for the Warriors this year. That will have come into the Queensland camp. And the other front rower is the number one prop in the game, Shane Webke. His bull-like charges in the middle of the ruck, looking to set the platform for his teammates. On the bench, John Doyle was named at hooker, but he will come off. He's only played 4 games at hooker over the last 2 years, more a half 5'8". Interchange player Chris Walker, 21, brilliant speedster. We've seen him perform very well for the Broncos in the opening 11 rounds. Alongside him, Chris Beattie, doing a good job for the Cronulla side. Got a good work rate, this man, and can pop a ball, as can Carl Webb. And at 20 years of age, he is the youngest player on the field tonight, and quite a shock for Carl Webb, but he's looking forward to this, no doubt. And of course, Wayne Bennett coaches the side. We've pointed that out. And Phil Gould, I've got to ask, what kind of influence does that have on this series?
I think it has a big influence, Peter. I really do think too that people are asking a lot of this Queensland team with 10 debutants. Whilst it is a team that Wayne Bennett has picked to try and win tonight, I think it's also been picked for the future. And Wayne Bennett in his nursery at the Broncos, bringing these players through, now introducing them to Origin. They'll do the maroon jersey proud, but a big ask to beat this New South Wales team tonight.
Well, Mark Coyne, I think in the past we've said to look at the strength of a side, we look at their bench. 17 state games on the New South Wales bench, none for Queensland. Is that a concern?
Oh, definitely. I think certainly New South Wales have the edge on the bench there. But in saying that, I think that the Queensland players that are on there are quite powerful runners. I think you look at guys like Carl Webb and Chris Beattie, they're very strong, powerful, and Chris Walker is electric off the bench. And I think that coming on when maybe the forwards are a bit tired for the Blues, and he might do something exciting out there.
Yeah, with this move that they've put Bradley Myers into the run-on side and Campion into the hooking role. John Doyle goes to the bench, Pete. And talking to Phil, I'm reading into this that they're running with 6 running forwards, and that maybe Paul Green might play dummy half. Phil.
Yeah, well, I honestly believe that Paul Green intended to be the hooker for this side before Sean Berrigan was injured, and they've gone pretty much with that plan. I wouldn't be surprised to see Paul Green playing dummy half in his own half of the field, coming out of trouble, perhaps Campion in the opposition quarter if the opportunity gives itself, save Doyle to come off the bench for a little bit of impact. Not surprised to see Paul Green play a fair bit in that dummy half role.
And of course, if Paul Green does that, then Lockie can come up from the back and be the first or second receiver.
No doubt that he'll be up there all night doing the kicking, controlling the play and providing that little bit of flair for the Queenslanders.
Well, Chief, it is a cliche, but these games are one up front. How do you see that forward battle?
I think it's a good pack that Queensland picked. I think the only problem I do see, it's an advantage to have such that size that they have, but the longer the game goes, if they don't make an impact and convert that physical advantage to points, the longer the game goes, the more liable they're going to be to run out of puff. And I think that's a big question, because most of these guys, on average, if you put they're playing in the NRL into a melting pot, they only average around about 55 minutes. As the game goes on, I think it's going to be a problem.
If you're running out there tonight, Chief, and looking at the likes of Buttigieg, Sivan Asiva, Campion, Webke, would you be a bit worried? You'd be a bit worried.
You'd have to be a bit worried. There's nowhere to go.
He was never worried.
I wish you were out there, big fella. Just absolutely give it to you. No, it's a big pack. It's a big pack, and I tell you, I think it's a defining moment for Wayne Bennett to pick a side like that. And you just see the dressing sets now. It's a pretty nervous time. Corny, you've been there plenty of times.
Yeah, one of the exciting things I think when you are playing Origin is when the coach actually walks up and gives you that package with your jerseys in there, and to rip that plastic open and put the jersey on. And there's 10 guys in the Queensland camp, in the Queensland team, who are doing that for the first time tonight. Is certainly a very special moment. And playing at Lang Park, and this might be the edge that the Queenslanders need.
Well, Wayne Bennett is doing that for a lot of young players tonight, Phil Gould, and I would assume he would just be saying, look, keep this simple. He's not going to complicate things too much at all.
I think it's a very simple game plan for Queensland this evening. For Queensland to win this game, they've got to control where it's played and how it's played. That's the only way Queensland can win. If New South Wales control that, then they'll win comfortably. Queensland's best hope is to play field position at New South Wales end of the field on the back of a big kicking game from Lockyer, be very patient and force the New South Wales side into impatience, which they've been known to do in the past.
Yeah, look, Darren Lockie's the key for mine, especially down in that quarter, Phil. We've seen what he can do with the Broncos. He's played well for Queensland, and I reckon he is their main try-scoring potential.
And of course, he also takes on the goal-kicking role tonight. Another great effort from Darren Lockyer expected by this huge crowd. In fact, that's a plus for them tonight. The record here is 40,665. We'll press that tonight. We'll take a break now and be back with all the more build-up of State of Origin 2001. Opening game in State of Origin 2001. A different concept. We're playing Sunday night, but it has certainly caught on with the crowd. A huge home crowd here. We were here an hour or two before kick-off, and I've never seen more people lining up or walking along to come to the ground, and it all augurs well for a great game first up. Now, there was some talk coming into this game that it would be New South Wales that changed their starting lineup. That is not the case. As we have a look through the New South Wales side, it is the one that was named by the selectors, with Mark Hughes, Mr. Reliable at fullback from Newcastle. Very safe in all aspects of the game. That means he's well suited to Origin football. His teammate on the wing is Jamie Ainscough, 29 years of age, aggressive by nature, has been there for the Blues and done it before. He'll get heavily involved. So too with Matthew Gidley, only 2 games back, but he has not missed a beat for Newcastle in the last 2 weekends. Very good at setting up overlaps for his outside men. Michael DeVere, a well-deserved call-up to Origin football, one of the 2 Brisbane players taking on his teammates tonight. He is also the goal kicker for his side. Adam McDougall on the other wing. There was some doubt about him early in the week, but he's overcome his hamstring problem. He said he's 100% ready to fire. At 5'8" and captain is Brad Fittler. As we said earlier, tonight he joins Andrew Eddinghausen as the most capped New South Wales player with 27. The halfback is Brett Camorley. He's been under pressure at club level all year, but tonight he steps back into the jersey that he wore with such distinction and success only 12 months ago. Locking the scrum from Canberra is Jason Croker. Just gets the job done, knows how to win, and his teammates love being out there with Jason Croker. Rare distinction for Nathan Hindmarsh in the second row. He's one player who's worn the green and gold before wearing a sky blue jersey, of course, on the World Cup tour last year. He's alongside Brian Fletcher, provides the skill in this New South Wales pack, can pop the ball before or after the line. They'll be looking for plenty of second phase from him. Up front, workaholic Robbie Kearns. Been a struggle for Melbourne Storm this year, but he's still been one of their better performers, and he too can offload. Luke Prittis comes in at hooker, and he's been probably the most consistent hooker over the last couple of seasons. Very good dummy half runner, very solid defender. And Jason Stevens, nice mixture of aggression in their front rower tonight. He's rapidly overtaking Shane Webke for that premier spot prop position, and another chance to impress tonight. So too off the bench for Trent Barrett, 2 in the World Cup last year. He'll be explosive when he comes into this game, the face of rugby league in the future. Michael Vella, he's had a good year coming off the bench early for Parramatta, now in their starting lineup, and he is a real impact player in the front row. Ben Kennedy, the workaholic back row from Newcastle. He was one of the members of the back row last year for New South Wales, and he likes to play wide of the ruck. And Rodney Howe, he's had a punctuated season, missed a bit of football this year, but very aggressive, and he's the yards man for New South Wales when he comes into the fray. And Phil Gould, it is very obvious from the side that is named that the selectors stuck very loyal to the team that did the job last year.
Yeah, they certainly have, Peter. A couple of assets for the New South Wales side. Very, very confident, and they've got a lot of skill and a lot of great attacking options. Now, that can sometimes be your worst enemy too. If Queensland come out with the game plan we expect, big go forward, good kick and chase, and plenty of patience, New South Wales are going to have to make sure they match that before they start throwing the ball around. Otherwise, mistakes could occur, and that'll build the confidence of the Maroons.
Well, Paul, how do you see this New South Wales side playing? We're saying that Queensland will play a safe game, a lot of forward rushes. I can't see that in the New South Wales lineup.
Oh, absolutely not. They've got plenty of skill, especially around the halves, and they'll be plenty of drop-offs back on the inside looking for holes. I don't think there'll be too many. Very defensive backline Queensland have picked. Is there a question mark? I've got to ask you, Blake, is there a question mark over the form of Nathan Hindmarsh, Brian Fletcher?
I get a little bit concerned that if Queensland get the amount of ball that they're looking for at our end of the field, or New South Wales end of the field, that there are players in that New South Wales team that can get a little bit, lackadaisical in defence and miss a tackle. Queensland will fancy their chances from close range, not so much long distance tries, but very close range.
We can just see here the New South Wales dressing shed, and I can tell you from experience that being here at Lang Park, it is like the centre of the universe in there, and you can see that green synthetic grass. I've tread over it many a times. There's a long hallway to that dressing shed. It's friendly ground for a small period of time, but a lot of thoughts going through their minds. There's a debutant sitting there, Matthew Gidley. It's a real pressurised situation, and it's the players who can deal with that really do well in State of Origin.
Even though they're secluded down there, they can obviously hear this noise. And Coyne, what about the crowd here? What role does it play?
It plays a huge role, I think, Peter. I think it's obviously the home of Origin football, Lang Park, and I think just even coming into the ground tonight, the atmosphere is electric. I think it's a lot better this year than it was last year, and I think it'll play a part. I think guys like Mark Hughes for the Blues, who's playing his first game here, especially at the back of the field, got plenty of bombs. I think he's got to keep his mind on the job because he's going to get plenty tonight.
They're a good crowd if you're in front. Like, they're a better crowd if you're behind, because if you're 4 or 6 behind with 20 to go, I'm telling you, they can get you home. They will lift.
talk about the fitness with that period of time to go.
I'm honestly giving you a jump. I want to get out there. This is fantastic here tonight.
See, now you do this every year. At the start of the week, everyone was saying, well, New South Wales should win the game. By the end of the week, you have grown into these big maroon monsters and you're coming to get us. New South Wales have got to take the emotion of the situation out and not give Queensland something they haven't got, which you blokes have been doing all week.
Well, Chief, one thing they did have was this mystique about Lang Park. New South Wales have won 6 of their last 7. So has that disappeared?
I think it has. I think the players actually enjoy the Caxton coming past, and I know they're not doing it this year, but the pressure, I think you know exactly where you stand coming into this game as a New South Walesman through the crowd, and the expectation really does set you for the game. You see the players going through the tackling drills there.
It's a new strip too for the Queenslanders. I haven't seen the whites down the sides yet.
Will that help, you think?
No.
Every little bit helps?
It's a new strip.
We talk about passion all the time. It was interesting to see Wayne Bennett call for his captain tonight, Gordon Tallis, to play with his brains, not so much passion. I think he mixes both fairly well.
He's an inspirational player, Gordon, and all he's got to do is not worry about talking, just run the football. Run it, and don't get tackled. Knock them out of the way and score tries. He can do it.
I think what Wayne Bennett's alluding to there too is that he doesn't want him to burn himself out. He needs Gordon Tallis on the field for at least 70 of this 80 minutes. Now, if Gordon Tallis gets out there with a rush of emotion and burns himself out, he's no good to Wayne Bennett on the sideline.
Yeah, he's got Paul Green and Darren Lockyer to run the side as far as how he wants them to play. So, you know.
What about the kicking games? I think they're extremely important when you look at, this is won by field position and maintaining possession. I think New South Wales have an advantage here because they have more options.
Yeah, it's safe to say because but they can't hear us in the dressing room. Last night I watched the New South Wales team train. A lot of kicking on tackle 3 and 4 coming out of trouble. They wanted to get the ball to Kamali and Fittler, get it downfield as quickly as they could without pressure from the Queensland side on tackle 5. Expect New South Wales to kick on tackle 4 most of the night.
They want to make Queensland work hard in their own territory.
Turn them around.
Well, it's not far away, Ken. As you can see, the players are just about to go out into the tunnel. We're looking forward to going and sitting in and watching this one. The 61st State of Origin game coming up. It promises to be a cracker.
Yes, and you don't underestimate it, Peter. Since Origin's inception 20 years ago, 59 matches have been played. Queensland have won 30, New South Wales 28, and 1 match is finished in a draw. The series tally is 9 wins apiece, with 1 series drawn. It's a great rivalry. In 2001, will the Blues claim the overall lead, or can Queensland avenge last year's whitewash? The battle begins when we return to Suncorp Stadium. Next on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Away from this magnificent game, State of Origin for 2001, Game 1 from Suncorp Stadium, and the voice of State of Origin in fine voice for tonight, Ray Warren.
Thank you, Ken, and good evening, everybody, wherever you're watching us. Welcome now to Game 61 in this wonderful series. This is the jewel in the crown of rugby league, the New South Wales dressing room. The players about to be ordered to go out and be greeted by 40,000 out here. It is a magnificent crowd, and obviously 95% of them will be barracking for this team, the Queenslanders, under the guidance again this year of Wayne Bennett. He hasn't been at the helm since 1998, but after last year they had to do something. The renovations included getting the master coach back, and he takes 10 rookies into this fabulous game tonight. You've been told by those that have previewed the game that this will be the last match at Lang Park or Suncorp Stadium until the year 2004, as Brad Fittler leads the New South Wales Wizard Blues out, and in doing so he equals Andrew Ettinghausen for the most number of Origin matches played by a New South Welshman. 27 games for Brad Fittler. He was the youngest New South Wales player ever when he debuted back in 1990. He was 18 years and 114 days. When that happened, he's now 29. 4 of them are making their debuts tonight. Adam McDougall has been under a cloud. He is there, as you can see. Rodney Howe and Jason Stevens epitomise the feeling that will be running through the veins of the forwards in particular. And now Gordon Tallis on his maiden voyage as captain of the Maroons. The crowd roars. This could well be a record crowd for Lang Park. 40,600 odd were here in 1994, and today or tonight they're hanging from the rafters. Atmosphere is unbelievable. Dallas Smith at 32 is the eldest. He talks to Daniel Wagon, one of the 10 new faces. Fittler has called them in. Let's have a look at the card.
And for New South Wales, Mark Hughes at fullback, Ainscough and McDougall the wingers, Gidley, DeVere the centre pairing, Brad Fittler is the 5/8 and captain alongside Brett Camorley. Locking the scrum, Jason Croker. In the second row, Brian Fletcher and Nathan Hindmarsh. A front row of Stevens, Prittis and Kearns. And off the bench, Barrett, Kennedy, Vella, Howe, coached by Wayne Pearce.
And the Queensland side, Darren Lock is the fullback, Takiri and Saylor on the wings, Darren Smith, Paul Bowman in the centres, Daniel Wagons the 5/8, Paul Green the halfback. Myers off the bench gets a start in the 17. He's the lock forward. Talos Sivanasiva the back row. Webke Buttigieg, Campion from the lock forward into the hooking role, and the interchange there, Doyle Beattie, Walker Webb, coached by Wayne Bennett.
So, time for the anthem. Both teams have come across to face the member stand area. And the anthem tonight in front of this capacity crowd to be performed by Southern Cross Harmony. Players forming this backdrop to the performers. And you can see,
Ladies and gentlemen,
restless, sick of waiting, really. Seven days probably has seemed like an eternity for them. Wonderful rendition, rousing reception for Southern Cross Harmony. Players going to their positions. The weather in Sydney today was atrocious. In Brisbane it has been an ideal day. What's the Weather Bureau saying as we welcome our sideline eye, Andrew Voss?
well, Ray, they're telling us there remains a chance of showers tonight. I can tell you there's just a little bit of breeze at the backs of the Queensland side in the first half. Ray, we've been coming here for many years. I can't recall a greater sense of expectation from the crowd. Over in England, they call Manchester United's home ground Old Trafford the Theatre of Dreams. Well, this is our Theatre of Dreams. It's hard to top this atmosphere on Origin night.
Bill Harrigan refereeing his 13th Origin game. It is kick-off time. Let's get it on. Let's play Origin football. Whipkey is met by 4 of the Blues and hammered into the turf. Now Buttigieg at 114 kilos. The biggest boy out there tonight. Petro Sivanasiva with an ominous run for the Maroons to the 30-metre line, and now for Tallis. 1, 2, 3, 4 forwards. Play back for Campion. And now for Bradley Myers. His first touch in Origin football. Carries him into enemy territory. For the kick from Lockyer. Across goes Mark Hughes. It'll go dead. And it does. Welcome to our viewers right around the world. In the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, up in Dili, I know you're watching. come for the ride. You'll enjoy this. Hindmarsh will play it. As a dummy half, Wayne Pearce using the advertised team to start. Croker at the 40-metre line. Now Brian Fletcher running off. Luke Prittis. Myers in the tackle with Webke before the kick of Kamali. Marked on the full and run back by Lockyer. Runs it over now for Takiri. Takiri on a big run down the left. Gets the pass infield. Lockyer, he'll score. 2 minutes into the game. Lockyer scores. Queensland lead 4-0.
And just the kind of start that Queensland were looking for. Look at the guys, they're pumped up. Great work. Their first set of 6 was sensational. And the kick return, well, Darren Lockyer, he can just do it all. They didn't number up particularly well in defence. As we freeze it there, you can see 2 New South Wales defenders. We've got 3 Queenslanders. Lockyer comes up to the line as play continues, and he puts Takiri into a hole. The slide there from New South Wales, not effective. Takiri, a tremendous run. Put the move on Mark Hughes. Step back inside. Beat Hughes. Tackle from behind. But the support play was outstanding. The man who started it finished it.
I'll tell you what happened there. Kamali kicked the wrong side of the field. He kicked to the light side. They only had a couple of defenders, and you can't afford to give Lockyer Takiri room to move. A great run in the first defensive set of 6. The Blues missed 4 tackles. They missed a couple more here as the Queenslanders, they couldn't get a better start. Lovely work by Takiri. And the man who started it, the man who fielded the kick, scores the try and about to convert and does so.
There it is, the conversion from Lockyer. Hasn't been the regular kicker since 1998. It is all Darren Lockyer. A great start for the Maroons as we go to our first break. 6-0 the score. A dream come true for Wayne Bennett and Queensland. Clockwork precision. Now Saylor off his right flank, making the 7th forward. Myers. Champion, the first Warrior to play in Origin football. Again Lockyer kicks, it'll find touch. Darren Lockyer at the moment has got it on a string.
And the Queensland forwards really pummeling the New South Wales defence. The likes of Webke, Buttigieg, Sivanasiva running hard and running strongly. And they're getting hard through the tackles most of the time.
There's the pack weights.
Straighten up.
Quite a substantial advantage there for Queensland. I mentioned that Buttigieg at 114 kilograms is the biggest. Webke 112, Stevens 112.
We've actually got Shane Webke at hooker. Campion is at lock. We've got 3 front rowers playing as the front row for Queensland in that scrum. Buttigieg, Sivanasiva and Webke. As Gidley tries to break a tackle. Tackle 15 out in front of his own posts.
Hindmarsh breaking from that open side second row, taking the second play. Gidley took the first. Fittler electing to stay back out of it. They'll come to him for the kick as Prittis makes a good run. 40-metre line for New South Wales, down 6-0. The first try coming after just 2 minutes of play. Fittler, he's lost the ball. It's a penalty. It's against the defence for holding Fittler down.
I think it's a pretty tough decision against Queensland. I think that Brad Fittler was looking to get rid of the ball, which means that the tackle should still have been in motion when Buttigieg came over the top. I think it's tough against the home side.
Kamali finding the line.
A great kick.
So the Blues get their first attacking opportunity. Stevens thunders it up 12 metres out from the line. Now from Prittis, it came off his foot. And the New South Wales number 10, Robbie Kearns, plays the ball. Kamali again. Now for Fittler. Fittler away. Gidley will make it. Gidley's gone over to score for the Blues.
No, he hasn't.
No, what's happened?
I think the ball's been stripped in a one-on-one.
Jamie Ainscough, I think it was really gets the ball down, mate, when he goes over. If he doesn't...
If they haven't scored, they've bombed one here, New South Wales. Beautiful second man play there. They got men on the outside. Wonderful pass from Fittler. Got Gidley outside his man. And as he goes to get the ball over the line, to Keary. Knocks the ball loose. He has not grounded that.
Absolutely no try will be ruled. It all happened in a split second. Gidley was over. It was 6 points to 4. And Takiri, who played that prominent role in the first try, has forced the error from the New South Wales centre.
Yeah, wonderful work by Lottie Takiri. They well created the opening, and Gidley just had to virtually fall over the line. In trying to do that, Takiri did the best he could. He got his arms around the football, put him on his back. The ball's gone loose, and this will be no try. Smart thinking right there, wasn't it, to actually, knowing his one-on-one, have a grab at the footy.
And what happens after this? If it's ruled that Takiri has raked the ball out, well, Fittler didn't get there first anyway.
I think Lockyer's got a kick on it, Peter. Well, Matthew Gidley has only played 2 games this year, and he will be absolutely dressing himself down. But don't rule out the effort of Lottie Takiri. That was a mammoth effort by him. So Queensland still leading 6 points to nothing. Campion now. Put down by Jason Croker. Robbie Kearns in jumper number 10. Myers. Been a good start by the young back rower. Tallis! He beat a high tackle and took it to the halfway. Tackled by Croker. Now Butt again. 1 of 3 Cowboys in the game. Campion, dummies open side, starts something down the short side with Darren Smith. And it's a penalty. No, it's a turnover.
Yeah, that's one thing that Kevin Campion, as dummy half, must be aware of, what stage of the tackle count they are at. He did not know it was the last, and he reacted accordingly when the referee blew the whistle.
Play by Gidley. Now Kearns, head down, burrowing into the midriff of Webke, before Fletcher gives it across for Hindmarsh. Play right in the centre of the ground. Halfway mark. Pritis to the left now for Stevens. And Stevens is put away on the 40-metre line. First Sunday Origin match. As Kamali pushes it low and hard. Takiri will be forced to bring it back. Great start for the man with the ball so far tonight. Webke. Sailor again coming in from the right wing. Quite predictable. Wayne Bennett. And the penalty's gone to Queensland. It's holding down on Wendell Sailor against Nathan Hindmarsh.
I actually think Luke Pritis is the man most at fault. That's him at the back of the tackle there. Bill Harrigan. Those are whistles. Tap taken, 40 out. Campion doing a fine job in his new role.
Queensland, incidentally, have been refereed by Bill Harrigan 12 times, and 7 times they've been victorious. 7 from 12, the records are good for Queensland under Harrigan. Now Webke, 35 out, centre of the ground, plays it back for Campion, to go left for Lockyer. Lockyer holding up the pass. Tallis was out wide, and he was shut down by Croker, who's tackling with great venom. Now Sivanasiva plays it back, and Campion gives it away for Lockyer. Lockyer puts a little kick over the top. McDougall has to hurry. Will he get it back? No way. Queensland will get it back. It's worked out perfectly for them.
They're playing some good football, Queensland, as everyone expected. Just doing it through their forwards. We haven't seen a backline movement yet. This is a nice kick on the end of a great set of 6. McDougall did well. There's been some beautiful tackling out there, in particular by the number 9, Luke Prittis. He's brought down Sivanasiva and also Webke with some beautiful round-the-legs tackling.
Morley's drop kick is only shallow. Myers is tackled 23 metres out from the line. Tackle number 1. Great position for Queensland. Buttigieg. Campion offload, then a bat down. Green gets it on for Lockyer. Lockyer for Tallis, and Tallis is tackled 11 out. Play back for Darren Smith. Darren will go over. Darren Smith has put it down. It's a try. A try to Queensland. That's their second. The bench goes up. The crowd goes up. It is 10-0. The Maroons in front.
And doing it nicely, aren't they? It was unfolding on the play before they'd nearly created the overlap. A quick play, the ball led to that try. Good work here. Quick hands. Watch a little bat on to Paul Green. Now, fortunately for New South Wales, they came in and nullified Gordon Tallis. That was the winger coming in. He freeze played there. Just look at the move by Darren Smith. He goes in and away on Robbie Kearns. And as play continues, he just beats him with that left foot step. But it was set up by the previous play and the quick play the ball.
Hasn't played for a month, Darren Smith, but look at this beautiful left foot step. Robbie Kearns standing too wide there as the pivot defensive forward, and when he was beaten, put pressure on the rest of the defence. Had to come in, couldn't do it. And Queensland going good.
His second Origin try, and this is his 17th Origin match. Lockyer's got it. It's another converted try. Queensland 12-0 as we go to a break. As we welcome you back to Origin 1. This is tackle number 2. Buttigieg just got his head underneath the high tackle of Stevens. Now Sivanasiva strides out. 33 metres out from his own line. Myers to the 40-metre line. Confident start for the rookie from the Broncos.
Now, I thought the kicking game might have been a problem for Queensland, but the beauty for Darren Lockyer tonight is that his forwards are just getting in great position to kick.
What a tackle. What a tackle. Tallis and Smith. Mark Hughes on the receiving end of a beauty. It rattled every bone in Mark Hughes' body. New South Wales then, the sound of the whistle. And he's given a penalty to the Blues. Harrigan, the most capped referee in Origin history.
Paul Green was penalised from marker there, moving too early. As Kamali finds touch 35 out. They need a good set of 6 here, New South Wales. They're looking a little bit tired through their defence. They've got to get to the other end of the field and put some pressure on.
Kearns. Dubious play the ball. Stevens. 5 metres now onto Queensland side of halfway. Fletcher. A torrid start, loose ball. Taken by Kamali. Not played out by Queensland. Stevens. 40-metre line. No gain for the Blues. Croker. Green. Right around the leg. Sivanasiva up the top. Off it goes to Kamali. Kamali to Fiddler. Fiddler cuts one out. Finds McDougall. McDougall comes back. McDougall to the 20-metre line. A groan from the crowd calling for Shepherd. Last tackle for the Blues. Kamali to kick. Kamali goes to the right wing. In they go for the contest. The bounce is there for Takiri. And again he manages to shut them down. Tallis.
Well, just watch the set of 6 coming up from Queensland. Look how deep they're getting and how much purpose in their runs. Maybe not a good example there from Brad Myers, but New South Wales again very flat in attack, and they are being blown off the park by these surges from the Queensland forwards and wingers.
Champion appealing for a penalty for Buttigieg. It wasn't forthcoming as Sailor plays it on the 40-metre line. Lockyer. Kick again, perfectly placed. Way down into the corner. And again Tallis hits Mark Hughes hard with Darren Smith, and they force him back. Pulverising stuff again. Ainscough comes across from his wing. Now Priddis. Fletcher. First interchange for Queensland getting ready. That's the cowboy, John Doyle. 23 years of age. Chosen as hooker. About to come into the game. Kearns. Down around the bootlaces, Paul Green. And the penalty goes to Queensland. He's telling Robbie Kearns, you must stand up and play the ball.
Robbie Kearns arguing with the referee. A little bit of attention over the top there from Buttigieg, but he actually did not try to stand up to play the football. Hence the penalty. Blood from the left eye. Been a fierce battle out there so far.
Lockyer goes for everything. He finds it 3 metres out. Doyle has gone straight into dummy half. Here's Green with the ball. 12-0 Queensland, and a great chance. Lockyer, Tallis. So close. Now they go for a barge over try. Doyle, I think it is. Now from Tallis. They go across for Green. Green is pulled down. Still a couple of metres out. And a couple of tackles remaining. Long ball. Picked up on the third bounce by Daniel Wagon. That is tackle 5. Now Campion goes away to Sailor. Sailor puts a little kick in. And it's gone into touch.
Just wondering whether Adam McDougall has played at this. Looked like a New South Wales ball coming. Try saver here from Mark Hughes. He's had a tough night, the Newcastle custodian, but he's helped his team here one-on-one.
A lot of the Blues players grabbing in defence. I don't think he did play at that. There should be a New South Wales speed. But a lot of the forwards, 3 or 4 of them actually got their arms heavily strapped. I don't know if there's some niggling injuries out there from club games, but gee, their defence is pretty ordinary so far.
So this scrum back on the New South Wales line as Phil Gould comes into the commentary for the first time.
Yeah, it's one thing to know what your opposition's going to do. It's another thing to handle it. Queensland haven't let New South Wales down with their big rampages over the advantage line, but the Blues just aren't in the picture at the moment, and Darren Lockyer has given them tremendous field position. The game's not going the way the Blues want. On the other side of that, they've only had one visit to the opposition quarter and looked like getting across the line, so that was a warning shot for the Maroons that they can't die off for one moment.
And this was the man that got across the line too, Gidley, to be denied.
Just had a look at the...
That's lost by Heimar, sorry Pete.
It's a penalty, been raked out. There've been 2 in the tackle. I'm just going to say, having a look at the ongoing completion rate, Queensland have had the ball 10 occasions. They've completed on 10 occasions. So they have not made a mistake with the football.
Kamali for line. 3-2 the penalties to the Blues. And 2 converted tries to nothing. Queensland leading. 19 and a half minutes gone. First half. Croker in space. Ball back to beat. Stands him up. Puts a fend on. Pull down 13 out. Priddis. Now for Kamali. Kamali gets it to Fittler. Fittler swivels. It's gone to Kearns. Kearns will play it.
Big numbers this way, Ray, if they can get it wide.
Priddis is coming that way. Kamali, a bullet-like pass. Gidley, surely not again. No. This time, Matthew Gidley puts it down. Bill Harrigan points to the spot, and the Blues are in. 12-4.
And that must lift the side, and this will. The Jason Croker run through Paul Green's tackle. Put a good move on Darren Lockyer as well. Found support when he got to the end of his run. Tackled by Sivan Asuva. With Kearns going into dummy half. They went to the left, came back to the right through Brad Fittler running an angle. And as they get the pass away and take the tackle, you will see that Queensland did not get a lot of men to the right-hand side. So we freeze it there. We've got 1, 2, 3 Queensland defenders up against 5 New South Wales attacking players. And as play continues to the right, they were able to take advantage of it. Beautiful pass wide to Gidley, again getting on the outside of his man or in between men, and he dived low and made certain of getting the ball over on this occasion.
Only the second time they've been in that quarter. Phil Gould mentioned that they'd fired a warning shot across the bows a minute ago. This one went through the bows, and Matthew Gidley, really good finishing effort there by him. And I mean, Paul Green's defended quite well all night. He's come up with some half dozen good low tackles, and that occasion wasn't up to it on Jason Croker, hence the 50-metre run by Croker and a New South Wales try.
Well, you've got to feel nothing but happiness for Matthew Gidley. He knew he should have put it down the first time. He should never have given Takiri a chance. That time he got it right. Now De Vere.
New experience from Michael De Vere being booed in Brisbane.
5 metres in from touch, the Broncos centre. Together with Luke Prittis. The kick is coming around. Oh, it's hit the post and come away. 12-4. Another look at the Blues' first try, Andrew.
Well, Ray, is this the best brand of football, or what we've experienced in the first 22 minutes of this match? Lottie Takiri, first touch of the ball and the bus for Darren Lockyer, got this crowd going as if they needed anything to spur them on. Then the first tackle Lottie had to make, the try saver on Matthew Gidley. Darren Smith goes over for the second try of the match, and the Blues back it up with a reply of their own. It has taken 22 minutes to actually get across for the 4-pointer, but Gidley's got the Blues back in the game.
Back with the Blues. Coming away off their own line with Hindmarsh. There's the completion. Look at Queensland. Well, look at New South Wales for that matter. Just an incredibly high rate at this level of football. Fletcher.
Well, again, it is a sign of the way Queensland are playing, and Phil Gould said that that's what he expected.
Morley's kick. Is it too big? No, he's got it just inside the line. Gives himself a little clap. Why not? It's been nothing but pressure season 2001 for the man they call Noddy. Landing it perfectly.
Well, the referee's asking whether this is a 40-20. It's consulting as to whether Kamali kicked inside his own 40. And looks like we've got a blood bin.
Yeah, we can wipe that and then you'll be right. It's just got, don't wipe on jersey or anything. Just don't water it.
Harrigan's concern is over. Robbie Kearns.
We wipe that eye. Take a break, boys.
No complaints from either side about the delay. Match, just like all other Origin matches, played at a frenetic pace. This one, of course, the first under the 12-4 interchange, and that's going to be very interesting as that becomes a most important factor later in this game.
Yeah, it's good refereeing by Bill Harrigan too. He knows how important these interchanges are going to be at Origin level. He took a little bit more time there to let Kearns continue playing, and both coaches will appreciate that attitude.
Takiri then. The kick from Kamali obviously was from outside the 40. Now Saylor doing exactly what most people thought he would, playing the role of another forward. What an awesome sight it must be. Darren Smith gets a beautiful pass from Lockyer. They're 41 metres out from the Blues line again. Now Takiri. An awesome sight watching the pack of forwards coming at you, and then blokes like Saylor and Takiri. The kick from Lockyer is infield, and he finds the line. Darren Lockyer. Everything he's done has been so precise. Look at that pass, hitting Darren Smith right smack bang in the chest, and then his kick an inch inside the touchline. An unblemished start for Darren Lockyer. De Vere takes his turn at being the 5/8 as they come away from their own line. Played by Kern. Ainsko. Almost to the 40-metre line. Fittler trying to ignite something. Another interchange. Rodney Howe goes into the game. Stevens, a little juggle before giving it away to Mark Hughes. Prittis. Kamali cuts out De Vere, gives it to McDougall, puts a kick in, and little Paul Green is there. The ball radared to him.
That should have been a penalty against Nathan Hindmarsh there. Pushing down in the tackle as Shane Redkey will get his side a penalty anyway.
Harrigan penalising.
Yeah, got them all there for offside. Rodney Howe keen to make his first tackle, was a metre offside. Another great kick. So Queensland only 30 out.
How well's this kid play? Throwing in the run on side. Myers has not been overawed in this company.
Now, Campion out of dummy half now. He's got the job of running forward. He's got that play, 10 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Green, Lockyer holds it back and swivels away. Green for Doyle. Doyle puts on a little dummy. Then is pulled down 5 metres out from the line.
Well, now there's a shortage on the far side for New South Wales, but a slow play, the ball helps their cause.
Green shows it to Meyer. Goes out to Wagon. Wagon to Bowman. Wagon a dummy half, and then Green turns it in for Buttigieg. Good tackle on Buttigieg from Prittis. Snapped his leg from under him. Green, quick hands for Lockyer. Inside for Webke. Webke charging at the line.
Great stuff.
Turnover. How did they stop him?
How did he not score? Right. And there was a big gap left because Brian Fletcher sprinted out of the line. And an inside ball, they're going to check it.
I think he was going to score, but Mark Hughes' presence makes the difference.
And it is on 5th and last.
Just have a look. The inside ball, as Paul pointed out, was opened up by men speeding up on the inside. I think he's going to score there, but you'll see the fullback come in and help push him back. In fact,
lost it.
He's lost it.
Lost it. Great charge. Good to see big prop forwards, 15 out, speeding to that line.
Is there anybody prepared to think that maybe the ball was stolen in a two-man tackle?
Well, I think Mark Hughes may have played at it, so yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a penalty.
I just thought I'd throw that into the equation because...
You're not going to throw penalty try in the equation as well,
No,
are
I'm
you?
not. But I must say to you, I think there could be a chance of a penalty here going to Queensland.
Well, they did very well because he is a big man and he was at full steam. But I do think that there is a hint of the fullback Mark Hughes playing at the football. It is the 5th tackle now, so it will be the changeover.
No, that's where the changeover is because that's where he got tackled. And markers don't split early. Hang on, fullback, here. Come on.
So, Vella. Now Rodney Howe. The new recruits have arrived with the scoreboard showing Queensland leading by 8. 20-metre line, Blues end of the park. The young Parramatta Lion, Vella. Prittis. Good run by Luke Prittis. He's been quite outstanding for the Blues. Kamali. Chipping over the top, the regather, perfect for Mark Hughes. A dummy on the outside. Flick pass away for Gidley. He puts a kick in. Lockyer will clean it up. Beautiful stuff by Mark Hughes.
Yeah, wonderful play by the Blues. Exciting stuff. In the end, it took a desperate Darren Lockyer to get back there. Lovely kick. He was onside Hughes. He's Newcastle teammate here. Little flick pass out the back to Gidley. Lockie gets back there to save it.
The understanding that exists between the likes of Gidley, Hughes, McDougall and Albert, to name them all. Quite eerie, really. Green's kick isn't bad.
We had to play that. Yeah, that was going to be a 40-20 if Mark Hughes hadn't have plucked it out of the air.
Great atmosphere. It is absolutely jam-packed here at Suncorp Stadium.
Ben Kennedy on for the Blues.
Rodney Howe now. Full tank of petrol, fresh legs. 40-metre line. Telecast. Going live to the UK. Thumping tackle by Wagon on Kennedy. Priddis again and again Wagon. Live into NZ and live into Papua New Guinea. Lockyer on the kick return. He's opened them up. He's looking for fast men. Takiri's in there. Intercepted by Ainsko. A try-saving play by Jamie Ainsko.
Well, you can't believe how bad that defence was for New South Wales. Nobody spoke, no communication whatsoever, and Lockyer just sliced through. That's why Jamie Ainsko's in the side. He did enormously well to get back and take an intercept.
Howe. Fiddler. And knocked on by the Blues. Knocked on by Brian Fletcher. That was a great play by Lockyer. Shut down by Ainsko. Let's look at it again.
So you've got Matthew Gidley on the outside of Jason Croker, just looking at Lottie Takiri, not even concerned what was happening on the inside. You just can't take your eye off the man carrying the football.
The amazing part about the pass on the inside to Takiri, the man galloping alongside Takiri was a bloke called Gordon Tallis, showing incredible speed, played by Bowman. That pass will go over the sideline, will it? Just got it in time, Sailor, and then gives Wagon a chance. "32nd minute of the game for Myers to be driven by Howe and Priddis. And now young Carl Webb, youngest man in the match at 20. Doyle. Green. Had a fine game for a man that they said would not wear the maroon again. Lockyer goes to the heavens. Batted down. The Blues are back with it. And that is McDougall. 12-4. Queensland, 2 converted tries. New South Wales, try not converted and 1 disallowed. Rodney Howe is sandwiched and driven. Now Vella.
Yeah, 3 good runs there by the Blues. The Queensland just stopped moving up the last few tackles.
Kennedy. 5th and last on the 40-metre line, Queensland's end. And Kamali puts it up. Lockyer's underneath it. So it was a kick that really didn't do anything to cause any palpitations for Queensland. Now Takiri. Darren Smith probably will run it. He does. Between the markers. Doyle. Buttigieg. Webke. The big men come together. Howe and Webke with Kennedy cleaning up. Green. Good kick. Marvellous kick. Finding the line. 10 metres away.
this will be a 40-20. Just inside the 40. McDougall couldn't get there. That is a great kick. And with 6 to go before half-time, another opportunity for the Maroons to put on another try.
So fed by Green. Way out in front of Wagon. He did well. Green using Lockyer. And again Green. Now Wagon. Is there any other colour? His name has been prominent in the last couple of minutes. Now Buttigieg. Are they going in again? Doyle. Beautiful pass back for Webb. Carl Webb. Carl Webb. Held up short. But the danger has not gone yet. Lockyer inside for Webke. He ran straight at Jason Croker and Croker pulled him down. Now Green. Now Webb. This is Campion. That is Buttigieg. And New South Wales are able to hold them out. Quite incredible.
Yeah, that was great defence. That'll lift the Blues, especially the tackle by Jason Croker and Webke. What a beauty. Webb sliced through some ordinary, once again, grabbing defence there by the Blues. And there was a magnificent tackle made by Croker and Webke.
So Rodney Howe brings it off his own line. And haven't they had to do some of this tonight? De Vere. Prittis to the 30-metre line. Tackle 3 is gone. Kennedy heavily put on the ground. Wagon again. Now Croker. This is Gidley. Over the halfway, and then Darren Smith puts him away. 5th tackle. Kamali kicking to Sailor's wing. Could not have got a better bounce had he avoided it. And now the big man comes right across the park. Hasn't had a lot of wing football to play tonight. The 30-metre line for Wendell Sailor in his last Origin series. Buttigieg. The new boys collectively are handling it well. Tallis. Webke. Uncompromising. And a penalty to Queensland. Hand on the ball.
Well, I can't even begin to imagine how Shane Webke will feel when he gets out of bed tomorrow morning. He has just thrown himself into this game. And stopping the quick play of the ball, New South Wales hand going in. 3 minutes now, and it is a big 3 minutes for both teams. So many tries scored at this stage of the game.
Another wonderful line finder by Lockyer. Green for Wagon now. Wagon almost looking like he was submitting in that tackle. Setting up for something. Now it's Webb. And Webb shrugs off a tackle. That of Croker. Webb goes for it. Webb's over. Webb's over. The 20-year-old. He's gone in to score. Carl Webb. Queensland's 3rd try.
And the heads go down on the New South Wales bench. There might have been some shaking of heads when Carl Webb's name was read out for this Queensland State of Origin side, but he's been unstoppable out there since coming off the bench. Spinning out of tackles. He's just a little pocket battleship. Gets rid of 2 there. He comes up against 3 defenders now, and it looks like he's covered. Ainscough is there, across the inside, and he still has the presence of mind to reach out.
What a great effort. I remember seeing this kid play last year for Toowoomba, the Brisbane lower grade side, and I thought, what a player. And look at him now, a year later. I mean, bursting through 4 or 5 defenders to score a State of Origin try. Good on you, Carl Webb. Typical, though, of the New South Wales defence tonight. Pretty ordinary stuff there. Crowd loves it. Look at them go up.
Well, they've had plenty to cheer about, that is for sure. It has been vintage Queensland in this first 40 minutes. They are going in with a substantial lead. And the thing about that effort from Carl Webb, he probably beat 5 players in total, and they are all good defenders. The last 3 were Croker, Ainscough and Gidley. There's normally no chinks in the armour at all there.
Such an historic night. And that applies to Carl Webb as well. Now Lockyer from the touchline, and it's just away. Queensland 16, New South Wales 4. Andrew.
And Ray, this young bloke, Carl Webb, he's getting the reputation as being a rugby league exorcist because he will scare the devil out of you when he gets ahead of steam up, and that's exactly what he did then running at the Blues line. Look, 3 weeks ago he wasn't even in the 22-man squad for Queensland. He's played only 14 first-grade matches. He averages just over 30 minutes in first grade a week coming off the bench, and here he is in the toughest football of all, State of Origin. He gets a try on debut.
Sensational first half for Queensland. They could not have hoped to get away to a better start. They came off the blocks 2 minutes into the game. Lockyer fielded a kick return. He went to the left. He found Takeri. They were in space, and Lockyer finished what he started. And the first half has been, as I said, comprehensive for the Maroons. 16-4. We will take a break, and then Peter and the panel will be back to dissect the first half of Origin 1 2001 straight after this.
To Suncorp Stadium, what a terrific half of football we're seeing so far in State of Origin Game 1. Let's check out the score. Of course, Queensland are leading 16-4. And there you are, Lockyer, Smith, Webb scoring tries for Queensland. Lockyer's kicked 2 from 3. Gidley, the lone try scorer for New South Wales. Right now, let's join the panel. Here's Peter Sterling.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, if anybody thought that Queensland were going to struggle in this series after what happened last year, that has been blown away in the first 40 minutes here at Suncorp Stadium. A deserved 12-point lead. And to be quite honest, gentlemen, New South Wales really haven't looked in it. 12 is probably conservative. And Wayne Pearce, he's got an important speech coming up at half-time.
He's certainly the one he probably should have given before the game. It's one thing to know what Queensland were going to do, it's another thing to handle it. And New South Wales have not, at any time in this first half, matched the go-forward play of the Queensland side and their kick and chase. It's been total field position to the Maroons. They've made New South Wales pay dearly for it. New South Wales are not in the contest.
What about their defence? I keep mentioning a lot of arm grabbing. That's a technical fault that they really haven't overcome yet.
I'll tell you what,
sorry, mate.
Their defence is terrible, particularly down the right-hand edge. You'll notice just about every try, even in the first set of 6, the first break was made on the right-hand edge. It's a real problem.
All right, but for Queensland, let's look at the positives. Buttigieg, Tallis, Sivanasiva, Webke has been unbelievable out there tonight.
Well, you know, we talked about the new faces. They have made a mockery of coming into State of Origin football and saying that you're going to be overawed by it.
Yeah, definitely. They've really stood up the debutants for Queensland. They've been terrific. I think what Chief was talking about, that right-hand side, they really targeted Brett Kamali a fair bit. I saw him do 4 tackles in a row. One set of 6 there, so they've really gone out of their way to get to Kamali.
Well, it's been a very exciting first 40 minutes because both sides have used the football, and the high quality is shown by our flow charts, the possession charts. Both teams have controlled the football beautifully, but Queensland, for the first 25 minutes of this game, were absolutely perfect. All of these red columns up the top are completions, and basically so too are these. You can see the 2 tries early, but for the first 30 minutes it is all Queensland, and even after they've made a couple of errors, which are the black columns, they have still completed the football on more occasions than not. 17 completions from 20 is absolutely superb at this level. Now, New South Wales, their completion rate is also very good. They just didn't have much football there at all. They have completed on 14 to 16 occasions, but I think it's fair to say, despite the fact they have gone through this section of the game very nicely, they haven't put pressure on the opposition defence the way that Queensland have. I think they've played too flat, and I know that we were going to see New South Wales playing laterally, but I don't think the work has been done in the middle of the ruck to allow them to do so.
It's exactly what we talked about, Peter. Queensland were going to come out with a big barrage of good go-forward plays. They're deep, they're big, they're running hard onto the football. New South Wales haven't matched it. And to match it, you've got to do a bit of that your own. They're just standing flat on the advantage line, knocking it forward a couple of yards, being driven back in defence. As a result, they're playing the entire game down their own end of the field. Queensland are patient, made them pay a couple of times at close range. New South Wales have really got to come up with a yardage going to be in this game.
Well, obviously in these games you'd love to get off to a great start, and it couldn't have been better for Queensland. After only a couple of minutes, they busted New South Wales apart and Darren Lockyer crossed.
Before the kick of Kamali. Marked on the full and run back by Lockyer.
Runs it over now for Takiri. Takiri on a big run down the left. Gets the pass infield. Lockyer, he'll score. 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the perfect start there for Queensland. And before you kick the ball, you've got to have a look and see how many defenders have got out on that side. I don't know if Brett Kamali did them, because they had plenty of room to move. Lockyer to Keary, the Brisbane Broncos combination, they've done this plenty of times over the last 3 or 4 years. Great flat passer of the football is Darren Lockyer. Put Takiri through that gap, backed it up the inside, and a great start for the Maroons.
Well, if that wasn't bad enough for New South Wales, they had an opportunity not long after. They got across the line as well, but they were denied by some wonderful last-ditch defence from Lottie Takiri.
Kamali again. Now for Fittler. Fittler away.
Gidley will make it. Gidley's gone over to score for the Blues.
No, he hasn't.
There was a great set play there by the Blues. They're a bit wary about the Queensland up and in defence, I think, out on that side of the field. They threw a little second man play behind, threw it across the face ball. I think Fittler threw a face ball out to Gidley. Opportunity was there for Gidley to go over, but it was great work there by Laurie Drakiri to get back there and actually knock the ball out of Gidley's hands.
Been quite a battle all over the park, but the centres especially have come up against each other a fair bit. Darren Smith came into this game the oldest player. He hasn't played for a month, but also the most experienced, playing his 17th tonight, and he would have loved every moment of this next try.
Darren Smith. Darren will go over. Darren Smith has put it down. It's a try.
Darren Smith hasn't he, Phil?
Yeah, that's basic lack of knowledge, though. Darren Smith, when he goes to dummy half in your quarter, will run, and he has got a left foot step. Now, look who he does it on. Robbie Kearns, the front rower. And Nathan Hindmarsh, a rookie in the New South Wales team, probably didn't have the knowledge factor in his kit bag, didn't realise what was on offer. And at origin level, you've got to have those things going through your head, concentrating at all time. Hindmarsh and Kearns were caught out there by a play that Darren Smith has been using for many, many years.
Well, with that scoreline being the way it was very important that New South Wales were the next to score. I think it was fitting that Matthew Gidley was able to get across, and obviously learnt from that first mistake that he made in the first 10 minutes of this match. Big numbers this way, Ray, if they can get it wide.
Critters is coming that way. Kamali, a bullet-like pass. Gidley, surely not again. No, this time, Matthew Gidley puts it down.
Yeah, this was set up by a great break from Jason Croker here, over the top of Paul Green. Came up to Darren Lockyer, was eventually tackled by Sivan Asiva, some beautiful cover there. And really, on the rare opportunities that New South Wales have had, this is where they have looked most dangerous. Bodies in motion, the wide flat ball to Matthew Gidley, and on this occasion he realised that the way to get to the line was down low, and he died between both Smith and Takiri to get the ball across on that occasion. Now, as we pointed out, the danger times in all matches of the last 5 minutes, a little bit of fatigue starting to set in, and Paul Harrigan, Carl Webb, who came into this game as a 20-year-old, must have been a shock to himself that he's in this team. This is just an incredible effort to get over the line on this occasion.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think that he represents everything that Wayne Bennett wanted out of his young players. Plenty of passion. I've also got to say that as far as Queensland's go forward is concerned, it's the best I've seen in State of Origin. It's absolutely superb. We've noted a problem with the New South Wales right-hand defence. Jamie Ainscough usually plays on the left-hand side. We've had trouble all day. But look at the power and the strength of this young man. Wonderful try, and what an experience for him.
Well, Paul, 12 points in arrears. I guess Wayne Bennett is just saying more of the same, but 12 points in this day and age, it's not a big lead.
No, it's not, but Queensland know their limitations, and they're playing to them, and they won't change anything.
Phil, what about in the other camp?
Queensland won't change anything. New South Wales have got to match it. They've got to match it before they go sideways. They haven't done that. If they don't, we'll see more of the same.
Well, at half-time, 16 points to 4 here at Suncorp Stadium. Queensland doing it very nicely at the moment. We'll take a break. We'll be back with all the second half action in just a moment.
The best in drama and entertainment. The All Drama Tuesday on NBN.
As much science as art.
At 8:30, a case that cuts close to the bone.
The alleged victim is an exotic dancer. Suspect's your ex-husband.
CSI. Then at the new time of 9:30, emotions reach boiling point.
Why do I feel like such an idiot?
Don't you ever treat a woman like that again, mate.
All new Water Rats, followed by The West Wing.
I should be there right now.
Compelling drama beginning with CSI from 8:30 Tuesday on NBN.
The makers of Panadol employ hundreds of
Corp Stadium, witnessing a magnificent opening to our 20th series of Origin. This is game 61, and what an incredible first half it's been for Queensland. New South Wales can only be shell-shocked by the way and the manner in which Queensland have gone to this 16-4 lead. If there is any good news for New South Wales, it may well be that Darren Smith, I don't think, will be playing any more tonight. This was just a few seconds ago in the Queensland dressing room. You can see him clutching at the adductor muscle up there in the groin, and then he starts to talk to Chris Walker, who will come on for Queensland. Captain Gordon Tallis goes across, and Chris Walker will be in that 13 that takes the field, and it would only be in extreme circumstances that Darren Smith, the oldest player in this Origin match and who's been having a fine game, will come back into the match. 16-4, the crowd has seldom needed their seats because they haven't been able to sit down. It has been just a high excitement level from the second minute in the game. There's been little to cheer about from the Blues' point of view. They've been hit by a maroon wave and then several other maroon waves. There have been some wonderful contributors, but none better than Darren Lockyer, Shane Webke and Lottie Takiri. Incidentally, you'll see a wrap of tonight's game from the dressing rooms on the Footy Show next Thursday night. And Peter and Paul on that show will be visiting the Crocodile Hunter at home and Mario's Caxton Hotel report. That's interesting. As Queensland start the second half, running towards the southern end. 16-4 the scoreboard. 3 tries for Queensland, 1 for New South Wales. They did have 1 disallowed, but it's a pretty fair reflection of what's been happening out there so far. In the history of Origin, New South Wales have come back from half-time deficits only 3 times. Interestingly, though, they did it twice last year, in Game 1 and Game 2. The bounce, giving New South Wales a bit more time, and Kamali really tries to soften up Lockyer. Takiri now. Start of the second half. You're watching it exclusively on the 9 network here in Australia and being beamed over to the United Kingdom, to New Zealand, Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, Ray, just on that half-time situation, after 44 minutes in the opening game last year, the Blues did trail 14 points to 6, similar scoreline. We did have that controversial finish where they finally got in front late. I'm just wondering what the interchange situation will have in this game. We've got Queensland 5 from 12. Wayne Pearce has kept 20. He's got 4.
Mark Hughes. He really has been targeted a couple of times by the Queensland defence. He stood up to it, though, the young Newcastle Knight. So Gidley scored the try for New South Wales. And he also had the ball over the line and failed to get it down on the other occasion. Fletcher. They bring it back to halfway for Kamali, dropping it in behind Saylor. Comes out of that corner, the northwestern corner of Suncorp. a good kick by Kamali, giving his chasers time to get down and just let Wendell Saylor know that the Blues are still very much in this game. Played by Bowman. Just repeating, Darren Smith I don't think will take any further part. But if the trend slows the way it has been, Chris Walker, who is a rookie, will play well. Here's Tallis. Another tremendous run by the captain, leading his state for the first time. That's off the legs of Webke. It'll be play on. Darren Smith back on the bench. Lockyer. Time to at least make his opposite number do something. And then it's McDougall. Tackled inside the 30-metre line. First Origin match on a Sunday night. That leaves only one day of the week that hasn't been used in Origin since it started in 1980, and that is a Saturday. Prittis cleaning up a little bit of a mistake, and then it's with Jason Croker. Short of the halfway by a couple of metres as Fittler steps off the left foot. Green hangs on like a leech, and Buttigieg comes over the top. Prittis gives it away on the right for Kamali to look on the inside for Vella. Vella gets it back to Kamali. Kamali gets it away for Fletcher. Fletcher gets away from Green. Steps over the top of him. Takes it inside the 20. Fletcher's going to get there, is he? Fletcher's there. Fletcher's over. Oh, what's happened here? What's happened here? Bill Harrigan didn't hesitate to go to the video referee.
Well, the ball has come loose. There's no doubt about that. He tried to run straight over the top of Darren Lockyer. Has he been successful? This should show it. The knee coming over from Lockyer. He's lost it. No try.
So they've been over twice now, and twice they've lost it.
Well, that is a shame, because that run deserved a try, no matter who you support. An outstanding run. Beat players. He was tackled, not tackled. He found a gap. He ran, took the fullback on.
He put a beautiful little step on to get into the clear.
Trying to put that ball down with his right hand. There's a bit of mail around. He's got a very crook wrist. No try.
So, a collective roar from a chorus of about 38,000 voices welcomes the news that it's no try. Webke. 16-4 down. And the 12-4 interchange. You'd rather be in front than behind, wouldn't you? In any circumstances, but with the new game that we're playing now, here's Doyle! Doyle to Lockyer! Lockyer! Lockyer gets it away! The support was there from Doyle! Doyle's in! Doyle scores! The young cowboy celebrates his debut! Celebrates the biggest night of his life! The Maroons are in again.
Good on you, John Doyle. Great work there. He had a little bit of luck, I must say, because Ben Kennedy actually fell over in the defensive line. He scoots out. Just have a look. If he frees it there, you can see Kennedy fell to the ground and had to get back up, and that opened up the hole for John Doyle. Play continues. We have pointed out on a number of occasions he has played plenty of 5'8" halfback. Found Lockyer. Lockyer was taken by Mark Hughes, and then the hooker backing up on the inside gets across. Luck's of fortune, isn't it? We've had Fletcher denied at the other end. Moments later, this man gets across for his side.
Yeah, what a great experience for these kids. And give Wayne Bennett the pat on the back. He had trust in the youth that Queensland has produced over the last few years. He's given them a go, and look what they're doing tonight. This is turning into a pummeling at the moment. And John Doyle, look at him go under the sticks. Plenty of speed, played plenty of 5'8" and halfback. Great stuff. More missed tackles there by the Blues.
Well, what a night it's been for all of the rookies, but in particular for Carl Webb and for Johnny Doyle. The conversion, the flags are up. Queensland 22, New South Wales 4. Another break. Here's for Shane Webke. He took it back from the restart, and this is what happened. He has been so punishing, so committed, Still trying to work out just how he suffered the injury, whether his head was hit the ground at force. It might have been a head clash there, I don't think so. It might not even be the head. It might be, I'm told, a hand or a wrist problem. But he was shaking his head.
I reckon he might have got an accident. General poke in the eye. As Croker tackled him.
We'll see, Paul, we've been talking about Lockyer. We've talked about the debutants. We've been talking about Takiri. What about Webke? He really has laid this wonderful foundation with tremendous support from people like Buttigieg. He's coming off, I see, in back play. Green steps again. Wagon carries it on. Then it goes outside for Sailor. Sailor goes inside and looks to pass but holds on. Tackled by Kennedy. So from Doyle to the first receiver, Lockyer. He kicks, he chases, he's keen. And it comes down with Mark Hughes, who's tackled by Lockyer. Lockyer having this fine game. It's a penalty. And he's brought a penalty against Queensland. I'm sure they'll forgive him for that. Kamali's kick might not find it.
It's been touched, so it should be a scrum feed to New South Wales.
Kamali trying to urge his troops up. Takiri, I noticed, even with this little blemish, chastising himself. Absolutely filthy on himself.
Yeah, New South Wales is just off the pace of the game. That was a rush kick there from Kamali. Interesting sign in the first half. Gidley, no try. 2 minutes later, Darren Smith scored, worrying about their missed opportunities. Fletcher, no try. 2 minutes later, back they go the other end, the Maroons, and score again. Mentally, New South Wales just aren't here.
Here's Gidley now. One of the players that has really problemed them. A loose ball for Takiri. He comes to Kennedy. Beats Kennedy, all ends up. Takes on 3 more and he's put down on the halfway. 14 was Chris Walker, and this is Sivan Asiva to the Blues 40-metre line over there in front of the Ron McAuliffe stand. Doyle with a dummy. Doyle has gone through. Doyle comes to the last line. Gets the ball away. Green for Buttigieg. Buttigieg's over. The Cowboys. The Cowboys. They've done it. Doyle and Buttigieg. Another try.
Oh, can you believe it? John Buttigieg, Carl Webb, John Doyle, they are all sharing in the spoils. John Doyle setting this one up, and New South Wales know that this game is slipping, if not slipped, away after 50 minutes. Matt Gidley looking for some support out wide, just threw the ball into no man's land, picked up by Takiri, and still missed tackles. There's Kennedy, brushed off. Shree finally coming in, but if you want to see bad defence, it doesn't get any worse than that. John Doyle, he had players in motion on the inside. Mark Hughes did very well. Doyle had it all over him coming one-on-one, but the support play, Buttigieg, I didn't even think he'd still be out there now. He averages 52 minutes a game this year. He'll be there for 80.
Oh, it's a dead set smash up. How good's this to watch? If you're a Queensland supporter, the fans here are loving it. And John Doyle, when all the experts picked their Queensland sides, he wasn't in the reckoning. They were talking about other players, Polamander, Goddard, but they picked John Doyle, and he is having an absolute blinder. And John Buttigieg, he got himself fit this year. He lost 8, 10, 12 kilos, something like that. He looks terrific, had a big game in his first Origin. In his first Origin game, he scores his first Origin try.
He's out there for 80 minutes tonight. He might lose another 3 or 4.
Lockyer then. Lockyer converts. This is a marvellous night for Queensland. 28-4. We take a break. We welcome you back to Suncorp Stadium. Origin football started here 22 years ago. There's the interchange. Queensland have used 7, New South Wales 3. It started in front of a crowd of 33,000. Arthur Beetson and Tom Radonicus and company. The biggest crowd at Lang Park. Chip kick. Oh, they've lost it again, New South Wales. McDougall cleans it up. In 1994, 40,600 odd were here. And I won't be surprised if they put up a ground record tonight. And what a night to put it up. Rodney Howe. What a great night, as we've said, for the youngsters. What about for the North Queensland Cowboys? Hello to you in Townsville. You're riding high, aren't you? Who'll score next? John Wayne? Bring on another Cowboy. Kamali drops it in. 10 metres out. And now Takiri combines with Lockyer to take it back. 20 metres out from the Queensland line. Walker on for Darren Smith. He won't let them down. Beattie from the Sharks. Rolling over the top of Kennedy.
As soon as they scored points, Wayne Bennett was picked up for another fresh body out there. It was in the shape of Chris Beattie. And he'll just continue on the same trend. Take the hard meters, can offload as Paul Green taking on the line, playing with enormous confidence. Last tackle now, 42 out. Lockyer with time to kick. Deliberate banana kick out towards Ainscough.
Jamie Ainscough trying to work out of that corner down there. Mark Hughes. Ainscough comes up appealing. I fancy that might have been for a high shot. Gidley. Now it's with Priddis. This is Croker. The reformation of this Queensland side under Wayne Bennett. Absolutely stunning, to say the least. They got beaten by 40 points at their most recent outing. In Game 3 last year. Only 6 of them have survived from 17. And yet they've turned this scoreboard around. 28-4 their way.
The defence by the New South Wales forwards tonight has been absolutely terrible, particularly around the ruck. Darren Smith, try from dummy half. Doyle out from dummy half to set up his first try. Doyle out from dummy half to set up the try from Buttigieg. Round the middle of the ruck, New South Wales too slow and not committed.
Doyle again.
Now, tell us! The supporters there! Walker! Faster than a gazelle! Walker scores on debut!
Well, this is just unbelievable. Chris Beattie must score tonight, because that means all the interchange players will get across the line. And just as Phil Gould spoke about the middle of the ruck for New South Wales, again Queensland have exploited it. Have a look at the run here from Gordon Tallis. Just freeze it there. Just watch Tallis coming back. A different line he runs. He comes back as play continues and runs into the hole. Pushes out. Powerhouse performance. He's got support either side. And Chris Walker there had to make a little bit of a change to his game. Chris Walker, normally a right centre, playing left for Darren Smith. This doesn't stop him coming sniffing around the middle of the ruck.
Well, we start to look at the record books now as far as the biggest defeat by Queensland over the Blues, and I think we're heading for one. Chris Walker, yes, thank you very much. Gordon Tallis over the top. The Blues at the moment, they are legless in defence. Powerful man, crashed through 3 of them. All went high on him, and the speed man backing up.
Just looking for that record, Paul, 36-6 in 1989. There's the conversion. They are carving them up. 34-4 the Maroons. Andrew.
Ray, what about the performance of their captain tonight, amongst many, many stars for them in his first match as captain, his 11th State of Origin tonight? You think back to Game 1 of last year's series, he was sent from the field. He apologised to all that were associated with the Queensland side. He has been a man on a mission tonight and setting up that try for Chris Walker. You talk about a team carrying out what their coach wanted at half-time. I can tell you one of the instructions from Wayne Bennett at the break was win the first 15 minutes and go from there. Well, in 15 minutes, they've taken the score from 16-4 to 34-4.
We're now with Sivanasiva. I don't think there's any doubt that Gordon Tallis has hammered home the point that he is the best forward playing the game today. Webke is human. Hindmarsh accepting the advantage and popping the pass for Howe. To ground for Queensland. To play on, says Harrigan. Tallis. Stepping, running, tackling. Now, Chris Walker. As Tallis goes hunting Kamali. Not happy with Kamali. Out they come for Wagon. Wagon's not held. 9 metres away. 34-4. Another wave is coming from the back. Beatty. He will televise his club next Friday night against the Doggies at Shark Park. Now they're heading for it. Bowman. Oh, this is incredible stuff. Turnover. Bowman. How he did that, I don't know. How Saylor was able to do that, I don't know. But then again, they are men now that are standing much taller than when they were out there. Anything they try is coming off. Almost the perfect origin for Queensland. Priddis losing it. Stevens gets it away. Fletcher is with it. Bryant unloads for Robbie Kearns to the halfway line. Now for Fittler. Now for Kamali. Then for Gidley. Flick pass for Ainscough. Fed for Kamali again. Now goes through the middle. Gives it to Fittler. Fittler's pulled down. Not held by Doyle. Flick pass for Ainscough. Turns it back. Picked up by Doyle.
Well, nice movement there from New South Wales, but the big test again is what they will allow Queensland to do in this set of 6. They're going to take advantage of it. They can't drop off tackles. As Fittler desperate to keep the ball alive. The flick pass here. Another one from Ainscough and Doyle. Right man at the right time.
Yeah, but again, Peter, that's not what Origin's all about. This is what Origin's all about. Big men running hard into holes on the edges of the ruck.
Lockyer running off Tallis. Here's the support coming. Walker's there. Walker's there. The ball has gone forward. It has gone forward.
And it has been recalled.
Well, it was actually almost a case of too easy there for Queensland. He had too many options, Darren Lockyer. I thought he might have taken on Mark Hughes by himself. In the end, in trying to wait for a support player, he's just got lost a little bit. Great ball from Gordon Tallis, and that's the final pass from Lockyer forward. The man who crossed only moments ago in Chris Walker.
Locks in, head down, Shane. Yep.
So New South Wales from the ensuing scrum on the second play, with De Vere 30 metres away from their own line. Hindmarsh.
And Ray, for New South Wales, the only man who has not had any action tonight so far is Trent Barrett. He's about to come on. But I feel a bit sorry for him. Much that he's going to be able to turn around in the last 20 minutes of this game, trailing by 30.
There's Barrett. Now Kamali. Kamali hit firstly by the shoulder of Tallis. Remember, I said to you that Tallis wasn't happy with Kamali, and he let him know it then too. Now Lockyer fires it across for Saylor. Saylor back for Lockyer. Brad Fittler comes across and launches a heavy tackle on the Queensland fullback. Bowman, the only Cowboy not to score. But the night's only young. Here's Beatty. Stevens and Barrett, they hit him with everything they had. Now Stevens is throwing punches off the ground. Not a good pastime.
That's not very smart to be on the deck and looking up and throwing them. The advantage all Queensland's way in that little loop.
I saw him snarling, mate. I saw him throw the punch.
Sharks teammates coming to grips here.
I didn't see it.
So the free kick taken by Takira, or run away by Takira, by Sivanasiva, I should say. Now Webke. This performance, I hope it's not lost with the more classical performances of Lockyer and Takiri. Walker on the New South Wales 20-metre line for Green, and now for Beattie. You can still hear Peter Sterling pumping for Beattie's inclusion, as Paul was pumping away for Bradley Myers, and they've both played well. Doyle finds Walker. 10 metres out from the Blues line. Lockyer. The kick goes across. Wagon's under it. So is Bowman, but so are the Blues. De Vere. And where is Harrigan going to take it? He's come from the field of play to grass it in goal, but he's taken it back to the 20. Played by De Vere. Barrett. Ridden into the ground by Webke. Fletcher. Croker. And Jason will play the ball on the halfway line. Barrett. Stevens. Running at former teammate Paul Green. Or were they there at the same time? Fittler for Fletcher. Banging tackle. You know who got him? Tallis. Gidley works with Ainscough. Ainscough, quick hands, Hughes. Queensland, if anything, are more committed now than ever as Wagon dives on this loose ball.
Those last couple of loose passes are typical of how these two teams have come to play the night. New South Wales have been in camp for a week trying to impress each other how skillful they were with the football. Queensland, they went into camp and tried to prove to each other how tough and how committed they were. You've seen the difference on the scoreboard.
Comments from Phil Gould. Sailor. Eventually, three of them putting him to ground. Doyle acting hard. Green. Intercepted by Brad Fittler. Fittler will go down the field. He will score New South Wales' second try. Brad Fittler scores for the Blues. Intercept, runaway try. 34-8.
Trying to put the finger in the dike, isn't it, to stop the flow. I think it's only a temporary one. Here we see the pass being thrown by Paul Green, who runs to the line. And Brad Fittler, well, he pretty much took it on the chest. Too little, too late.
It's a fairly big dike too, isn't it? He's tried hard tonight, Brad. Not everything's gone his way. At least he's run to the line, and he's tried a few occasions to break the line. That's good stuff. I mean, he read it well, had the speed to get away. No one back there for the Maroons. We've all seen that everyone's just, I think the game's in a bit of a lull the last 5 minutes. Everything seems to be going through the motions.
It might well be the interchange, Paul. The 12-4 starting to kick in as we come down with 14 minutes of the game remaining.
So we should just explain to people who aren't avid rugby league watchers, 12-4 means that we have 12 interchanges possible with 4 players on the bench, which is very different to what we've had in recent years. You could put players on and off whenever you wanted. So the fatigue factor much more evident. Was that conversion attempt successful?
34-10 then. A comment from Andrew.
Ray, that try just a temporary hold up to the celebrations here for Queensland. We've got a package for you of all the debutants, their tries tonight. Carl Webb, John Doyle, John Buttigieg and Chris Walker perhaps. Some of the rugby league experts tried to read just a little bit too much into the 10 players on debut tonight for Queensland, that would affect their chances. You look back at recent history, 9 debutants in game 1 for 1995, Fatty's team, they came up with a victory. Queensland took 7 new players into game 1 98 and also came up with a win, and tonight they've taken 10 in and have come up with a big win.
Collectively, 14 players got their first Origin jumpers. That's the biggest number in Origin football since 1981 from memory.
But Bossy, why didn't you tell us that before the game? We would have changed our tip.
Well, that's quite possibly right. I can also tell you New South Wales took 9 into game 1 99 and only got beaten by a point, so there's not much in it over the past 10 years.
Gidley's into space. Gidley, they've lost it, and Takiri made the tackle and came up with the ball.
Well, that was going to be another New South Wales try. Once again, it's a question. You've got to ask the question, how did they not score? Good move by Gidley on Chris Walker. Pass it now, and it's a try. He hung on just a fraction too long, and the defence was there again.
9 from 12. Queensland have made 2 more changes than New South Wales. And 12 minutes of the game to go. Gordon Tallis captaining Queensland for the first time. And as was pointed out earlier, a memorable game from Gordon Tallis. Lockyer, the kick down to Jamie Ainscough. Puts a sprint on, comes to the 30, draws them and unloads for Mark Hughes to go out to the 40-metre line. 34-10. Fletcher. Back for McDougall. In looking for work. Bouncing up and going again. Giving it to Barrett. Again the ball comes loose. And Wagon is there for Queensland.
Well, that's another situation where New South Wales have done all the hard work to get into a try-scoring position. But somehow the pass isn't thrown. It's thrown at the wrong time. Did well here, McDougall. Barrett. Again, nice defence. Beautiful tackle from John Doyle.
The Blues just making another change in the last minute. Webke. Lockyer. She's rolling it down into touch.
And that's the 3rd time tonight he's come up with that kind of kick, and it is not easy to execute. He kicks it with the outside of his foot so that it does banana away. Just have a look how he kicks it deliberately. And that takes hours and hours of practice. The ball actually spins away towards the sideline. And he's done it very effectively tonight.
He's played behind a very, very good forward pack too. Wayne Bennett's simple game plan. In Origin football, you have to dictate the way the game is going to be played and play to your strengths. Queensland have done that tonight. New South Wales haven't. They've tried to play a game without getting the go forward going. Just a very good performance by Queensland, coming here with a plan and sticking to it. New South Wales, well, they've got to dust themselves off and get ready for Origin 2 in a month's time.
Kearns. Hindmarsh is with it. This will be quite a slog. The last 9 minutes of the game for all concerned. Barrett. Fittler. Kennedy with him, cuts him out, goes round the back for De Vere. De Vere for McDougall. McDougall goes back in, links up down the middle with Barrett. Barrett's over. New South Wales get their 3rd try. Lovely execution. Every man did his job. 34-14.
All this is doing now with New South Wales making breaks and running in tries is giving them confidence for the next game in a month's time. Queensland, they have slackened off in defence. They know they've got the game won, and the defensive line not as astute as it has been. Paul Bowman didn't read that too well. It was a good cutout play. McDougall's really come into his own the last 15 minutes. A lot of running with the football. He's played well, and Trent Barrett's made a huge difference since he's been on.
Very effective decoy run here from Ben Kennedy. Just keeps Paul Bowman interested on the inside, allowing De Vere on his outside. Looked as though they'd covered it pretty well with Wendell Saylor backing back, trying to stay with his man, but McDougall changed direction very nicely. Barrett, the fresh man, back on the inside. Been a couple of good performances for New South Wales. I think Matt Gidley has done well tonight. Made a big point of the fact he's only had 2 games of football this year.
I think Robbie Kearns, Pete's been their best forward. At least he's gone forward with the footy.
And I think the fullback's gone well also. Mark Hughes, you expect a mistake-free game from him, and that's pretty much what we've seen tonight as De Vere about to add a further 2.
Michael De Vere converting the try. It is now 34 points to 16. Andrew Voss.
And Ray, what's interesting to consider now, different from any other year in State of Origin football, there's the long period until we get to Game 2. Game 2 is not until June the 10th, over a full month of football to go before we get into the second match. So the New South Wales players are going to have a long time to dwell on this match. And in fact, injuries could happen in between, so we might have a different look side on both sides of the equation come Game 2 at Stadium Australia.
I think in the last 8 or 10 minutes too, the New South Wales skill is starting to come to the fore. They've made a lot of breaks, and that was always going to be on offer at the back end of the game as these big Queensland forwards started to tire. The problem for New South Wales was they just didn't keep it close enough in the first 60 minutes. No patience, no plan, no discipline. Scoreboard got away from them. This was always going to be on offer late in the game, and this is what they've got to play for.
Fittler. Put away by Green on the 40-metre line. Blues end of the park. Kennedy got one hand on it. Saylor takes advantage for Queensland. Doyle again. Correction. Wagon. Now Webke. Just giving them that final push to the top of the mountain. Webb, 38,000 odd here tonight. I'll give you the official figure in a moment. Walker, held by Kamali. 4th biggest crowd at Lang Park ever for Origin. Green. Blindside play for Lockyer. Grabbing kick into the in goal. Confidently picked up by Hughes. Line dropout time. 38,909. Make up, as I said, the 4th biggest Origin crowd at Suncorp Stadium. 34 points to 16 in the face of the fury and the expertise of Queensland. Mark Hughes was really confident in what he did just then. Inside the last 5. 2 dropouts for New South Wales. Queensland have not been in that situation. Hard tackle. Putting Beattie on the ground. Wagon taken by Kennedy and Parramatta teammate Nathan Hindmark. The first year of Sunday Origin football. The last game at Suncorp Stadium till 2004. When we come back, it'll be state of the art. Brand new grandstands right around the park. That's where they are. 20 metres out. That's the 20 line. This is Webb. Got himself a try in the first half. Stampedes away. Looks to give it away to Bowman. Bowman could smell it but couldn't grab it. Hindmarsh comes away with it. This was Carl Webb. And I thought that Bowman was going to complete the trifecta for the Cowboys. 3 interchanges left for the Blues. Vella. Kamali. Kennedy. Kamali. The ball, I thought, went forward from Kennedy. Kearns. Hughes. Stevens Hughes. Hughes for Barrett. Barrett for Kennedy. Kennedy over the top for De Vere. A dummy and then a pass. Knocked down again by the Queenslanders. How many times they've been in position to do that tonight? Wagon will play it.
Yeah, Lockie now scheming and looking for a hole, puts Chris Walker into one, nearly gets through, but if you really take into account the number of tries that New South Wales could have scored, which is probably up around 4 or 5, then it's a lot closer, isn't it? But, you know, they didn't score them. That's the thing about it.
Well, Fatty, there's one part of your defence you don't want to use all that often. That's your scrambling defence, and Queensland have got to be commended tonight. Lottie Takiri on 2 or 3 occasions has got back and rescued situations that look certain. There's always been someone there to strip the ball or play at the ball. Where for New South Wales, once they broke the line, it was just maroon jerseys in support and no blue jerseys getting back.
And what about the guts and determination of Webke?
What about that for a run at the 78th minute of a State of Origin when you've given all? He dead set carried 4 blokes 10 metres when he could have just easily taken the tackle back on the halfway line. And here's Gordon Taylor still exerting his superiority in defence as Vella takes it over the 30.
Inside the last 2 minutes of the game. How? Paul, Phil, Peter, anybody. 3 interchanges not used. Does that bring a comment from any of you?
Well, I got no dramas with it. I don't think it was needed. Just because they're there, you don't have to utilise them. You'd believe that they probably would be on most occasions, as Lockyer take this comfortably behind his own line.
And on a night like tonight, you would expect him to be as graceful as all of that. Look at him, eyes on the ball, then falling away, taking it, forcing an optional 20-metre restart.
Just one of many, many Queensland heroes out there tonight. You know, it's just been a sensational performance. A couple of blokes that have been there before have really played well. Talking about Wendell Sailors, played well. Gordon Tallis, once again, he's put his hand up. But all these newcomers, unbelievable. Well, this will be one of the greatest nights of their lives.
I think it's very rare to watch a team and you can say that every member played close to the best of their ability. Like normally you've got to have a couple of players down, but I can't look through this Queensland 17 and think that anyone was, they might be a little bit disappointed with their performance.
Well, there it is. The last 2 seconds. Queensland have turned it all around. Look at Wayne Bennett, a lone figure, totally satisfied, waiting back in the dressing rooms for all of the rookies. And of course, the master tacticians to come back. A dejected New South Wales, an exuberant Chris Close, who was here on opening night in 1980, tells John Doyle just how good you were. The portly figure of Darryl Broman, who figures in State of Origin history as well, doing radio tonight. This has been just superb. It didn't really matter who you followed. You had to enjoy the expertise of what has happened tonight. Paul Harrigan is with the New South Wales captain.
Yeah, thanks very much. I've got Brad Fittler. Brad, you played your 27th game today. What happened out there, mate?
A bit disappointing, very disappointing actually. From the start we're sort of on the back foot. We had a couple of tries where we went over the line and spilled the ball, which might have kept us in the game. But the whole commitment level was pretty poor, and just sort of was always going to happen. If we give them too much ball, they're always going to roll. So
they picked a big forward pack. You knew they're going to take up the middle. Do you expect to be that effective by the Queensland players?
I don't want to take nothing away from them. They were great. Like, they played really good. I thought the debutants, they played fantastic, and our defence is just can't really say anything. It was just very, very ordinary.
Mate, just quickly, at half-time, did you still think you were with a chance?
Definitely, playing State of Origin, the game's never over, and we sort of, with Fletcher's try, we were sort of back in it, but that was a bit disappointing, and then we just fumbled our way around for a while and just never really got together.
All right, Freddie, best of luck next time. Back to you guys.
That's Paul Harrigan talking to Brad Fittler. The Queenslanders collectively acknowledging their fans. Mark Coyne is with one of those debutants, one of the rookies, Carl Webb.
Yeah, Carl, what a great debut for you. Try on debut, great win, mate. Is it exactly what you thought it was going to be like?
Oh, yeah, well, you never expect it, but, it's a bonus for me to get a first try, and my debut, but it's just unreal. The crowd's unreal. It's a packed house, Lane Park. Well, the Lane Park is windowed anyway, but, it's all changing, but it's unreal.
Mate, were you surprised a bit, I suppose, a bit soft, the New South Wales forwards, where you seem to get pretty good roll-ons there?
Yeah, well, we had to, all week we've been saying, we've got to get our heads together and just work them in the forwards, work them through the middle. That's what we did tonight, I mean, we just stuck to our guns, played to the plan, and we can't come up trumps. Look at the score, just has to tell you.
Mate, the Wayne Bennett factors, obviously, mate, he got you all into camp, he shut you off from the media and from TVs, etc., mate, it's obviously worked.
Yeah, well, it doesn't worry me, not too big on the media side of things, but, it's just unreal. We're starting our guns to come up trumps, that's all I can really say. It's a good win.
Well, good on you, Carl, mate, enjoy the win.
Mark Coyne with Carl Webb. Queensland have registered their biggest victory since 1989, 34-16. Paul Harrigan again with Jason Stevens now.
Thanks very much, Jason Stevens. Well, they got away to a tremendous start. You guys just couldn't pin them back.
They did, mate. They certainly dominated in that first sort of half. Their forwards were nice and tight. There wasn't anywhere to run, and then when they were attacking, they brought Lottie and Wendell in. They were just another couple of big, strong forwards, and the forwards that they had, Webby and Buddy, they went real well. They took the ball strongly, and we didn't have much answer.
Well, on the fitness stakes, you guys were supposed to be the best there, but towards the end, the defensive around the ruck was a real problem for you guys.
Well, I guess you can be fit coming into the game, but if you don't dominate field position or time with the ball, mate, no matter how fit you are, you're just going to be stuffed.
Okay, better luck next time, mate. Thanks very much. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, Jason Stevens there. And Mark Coyne now, I think, is with another of the young heroes, John Doyle from the Cowboys.
John, what a great debut, mate. Take us through that try.
All I know was Gordy told me to have a scoop. I got through. Lockie was outside me, and then next thing you know, I found myself in the clear and over the line. Unbelievable, mate.
Mate, how good does it feel getting the Lang Park here, getting a good win and getting the try and debut?
Mate, this is the best game, best atmosphere I've ever played. Up in Townsville we get good crowds, but this is jam-packed, and the whole place is going for us. It's unreal.
Mate, you started on the bench, obviously the one to put on Cameron Campion there to try and muscle up a little bit, I suppose, mate. Were you disappointed you didn't get the start?
Mate, I couldn't care where I was. I couldn't be front row, wing on the care, mate. It's just good to be out here.
Good on you, mate. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, our thanks go to Paul Harrigan and, of course, Mark Coyne, two great Origin players of the past, part of our commentary team tonight. We've still got the man of the match to do for you, the $2,000 Victoria Bidder man of the match. That will be all part of our program that follows the break. We're back to Suncorp Stadium in just a moment.
Thursday, 7:30.
For the action of the auction.
Experience 2 Edge of the Season.